You've got something that you want to process through?
Good day.
It is.
I'd like to welcome Abraham and Esther and the whole Abe crew back to New Mexico after a very long time.
For sure. We'll make this an annual. We'll come every year. What's the best time of year to be here? What's the best time of year to be here? Now's good for sure, but is there a time you prefer, those of you who are... We'll come every month. We'll come every month. So, what's up?
So the last time I talked to you, a few weeks later, I was so in my vortex, tuned in, tapped in, turned on, having so much fun. A lot of logical thoughts that would have usually gone through my brain, and I would expect most humans' brains, those thoughts were not going through my head.
Yeah.
They did not go through my head.
Right. That means you tuned yourself to a different frequency. Yeah. Would you say that most of what you left behind was a little worrisome in nature? Or a little pushing against in nature? A little opinionated in nature?
Yes, certainly opinionated.
That's really good.
So yeah, as a consequence of not having
Consequence is a good word. The law of attraction and consequence are really good words to pair.
Consequence of that absence of logical thoughts, I took a lot of inspired
action. It's not the absence of logical thoughts. It was the absence of logical negative thoughts. Your logic didn't go away. Just your practice pushing against logic went away. Your justifying, rationalizing logic went away.
Okay, thank you for that clarification.
Yeah.
So as a consequence of that, I took a lot of inspired actions that I would not have.
Which is logical thought. Inspired action is logical thought.
Because of those actions, the most amazing things transpired and rendezvous happened.
Yes, because by the time you receive that logical thought, all of the cooperative components have been gathered. What you're describing is what we're getting at. This is what deliberate creating is. Yes. It's also what we call connecting the dots. When you have deliberately focused for the purpose of finding a feeling, that's just the best calibration. And when you've done that, and then manifestations occur. A manifestation called an emotion, or a manifestation called a download of a thought, or a manifestation called an idea, or a manifestation of running into somebody, or a manifestation or even the more tangible ones of finding the car you've been looking for, or meeting the person you've been looking for, or when those things come, no matter what they are, connect those dots. Make an association between what I was thinking and how I felt and how I maintained that feeling, and then what happened next. It's like a logical cause and effect. Everything is a logical cause and effect. Really good.
Really good.
You're complete?
In that moment, it was so unintentional. I'm feeling like my question...
See, this is the thing. You've been putting your stuff in your vortex. It's over there, and it's doing its thing. It's vortex. It's gathering the cooperative components. It's the becoming of what you want. And when you're not thinking about it, often that's the best time for it to roll in, because there's no resistance. We can say that in a better way. It's quite often that when you're thinking about what you want, you're doing it from a negative point of view. You're doing it from that lackful place. It doesn't have to be that way. It's the trying too hard thing. The needing to overcome something. And when you feel like you need to overcome it, now there's resistance. You've muddied up your own trail. But when you are basking and loving and enjoying and appreciating, that's the perfect vibrational wings for your manifestation to fly in on. You see? That's why we ask you to connect the dots. Once it happens, connect the dots. Acknowledge that happened because I wanted it. I stayed off the subject if I had a hard time feeling good about it. I thought about it. I processed about it until I did feel good about it. I've been maintaining the vibration of feeling good more and more and more. And then, of course, that would happen. Yeah. When Esther first started receiving us and something that she had been wanting would happen, she would say, I did that. And when something that she didn't want would happen, she would say, I did that too. Because you can connect the dots either way. Nothing comes to you that you don't have an active vibrational thing going on about. Nothing. Nothing can assert itself into your experience. You invite every bit of it.
Thank you.
Something more?
I welcomed you all back to New Mexico because I do live here about 1 hour away. And I would like to thank me for manifesting Abraham coming to my home.
Well, you can give him the credit. Esther doesn't know him, and it wasn't a physical thing. Yeah, well, don't get carried away with that. No, we want you to. But it came, you know what you were describing earlier about you didn't see it coming? That's how this happened to Esther. She did not see it coming. It wasn't on her list of possibilities. It wasn't something that she was thinking about doing. And she awakened one morning with the most compelling thought about it. Now, how do you explain that? Well, the cooperative components gathered her into what you were about. She didn't see it coming. This was not a destination spot for her. Jerry and Esther came to Albuquerque a few times many years ago. But it has not been on their beaten path for a long time.
It's been about 10 years.
Since they were here?
Yes, in Albuquerque, that's correct.
Longer. About is a good word, though. Good?
Really good, thank you.